going on, hybrids? Welcome to my race prep / general chat YouTube videos. I'm going to do a lot of my content like this moving forward, where I'm kind of just training and talking you through what's going on. This kind of vlog, I guess, style format. Main reason being is that, one, it's easier for me to just get this content out more frequently. And I feel like it's a little bit more organic. Still plenty of value to be had, as I'll be discussing ideas and whatnot. I hope you like this content just as much as the previous stuff. If anything, this might be a little bit more enjoyable. Nonetheless, I hope you enjoy, and let's dive in. I have a 10K race in 3 weeks that I have been prepping for. After that, exactly 4 weeks after that, I have a half marathon. And then exactly 4 weeks that, I have a push-pull run competition, which is a bench press 1RM, deadlift 1RM, followed by 2.1 kilometer run / sprint. Prep has been going okay. I'm definitely getting stronger. The issue I have found is in getting faster without endlessly adding volume. I have improved in my speed. Unfortunately, not as much as I would have hoped for. So I think I realize now I'm at a point with my running, for me anyway, that it requires a lot more work in order for me to get those improvements, especially considering the body weight that I am. Currently 91 kilos right now. I can run for ages, but getting faster is a definite challenge. Anyway, you just saw me do 2 warm-ups. I always do those. Set of tib raises, 1 set of calf raises with my big toe elevated. Today, we're going to primarily be discussing training twice in a day, which is what I'm doing right now, and why I'm doing it in the lead up to my race. So, why am I training twice in a day? I don't train twice in a day every day, but Wednesday, which is today, is my double session. One, because I'm trying to get 5 running sessions in a week and 3 lifting sessions in a week. Because I have the push-pull run competition, I need to focus on obviously getting stronger in the deadlift and the bench press. So I'm bench pressing 3 times a week and deadlifting twice. So in saying that, because I am trying to get faster, what's been important for me is dispersing my running volume as well. I needed to split my running volume up throughout the week a little bit more. Where I used to have 3 hard running sessions, I now have 5 running sessions, but they're a little bit less volume and a little bit easier each time. The 3 running sessions worked well for me before. However, it would leave me really fucked the next day. If I had a long run on like Thursday, long-ish, say 15Ks, 16Ks, at whatever it was, that Friday session would be really hard and my legs would just feel cooked. I wouldn't be able to lift heavy, and honestly, I just felt like it also wasn't the best way for me to have quality sessions. When I was going into that lifting session the next day, I didn't feel that great. When I went into the running session I had the following day after that, didn't feel that great. Because each session was so hard, the gradual fatigue or the accumulated fatigue was really taking a toll on my ability to perform. I'll do heavy deadlifts this morning and then I'll go for an easy run. I think I've got 9Ks this afternoon, just at a slow pace. I've dispersed the running volume because it doesn't leave me too cooked and allows me to back it up and go again the next day. I also feel like the quality of my sessions has been higher overall. I never feel really smashed, so if I need to run 2-3 days in a row, I'm able to do that. I don't feel completely toasted like I can't run again. I want to build up my running volume a little bit more over the coming weeks, definitely leading into the half marathon, but we'll just see how fatigue goes, because I do need to get a lot stronger for this push-pull run competition. And just with the previous marathon training and stuff I had, I was not able to focus on getting stronger in the deadlift or the bench press. Anyway, probably going to work up to like 10, maybe 220 today on this for a set of 5, which is something I have not done in a fucking long time. And then we'll go from there. So a couple things about training twice in a day. If you don't need to do this, don't. But if it allows you to get more total work in a week, do it. Some people will train up to 3 times a day. So you can train a lot more than you think. Most people can. It's a matter of prioritizing recovery after these sessions. Obviously making sure you're eating enough and not being an idiot in the gym or during those other training sessions. You're not going to be able to have every training session hard. You need to auto-regulate, which means basically playing it by feel a little bit. If you feel good, push it. If you don't feel good, pull back a little bit. And that might change on a day-by-day basis. Or have a program that you're already following that kind of lays all this out for you. One day hard, one day easy, and so on. One session hard, one session easy, and so on. Again, even if you do have a structured program that lays it all out for you, there are going to be days that you feel great and days that you feel shit, and you're going to just need to change those on the fly depending on how you're recovering outside of these sessions. Recovery is the most important thing when it comes to training multiple times in a day, because you're not going to be able to do what you need to do in those other sessions if you're feeling fucked. The other thing is, if you have a really shit work capacity and you are generally an unfit individual, you will struggle to train twice a day, and it will be quite a while for you to be able to build up the fitness level to be able to handle that kind of work. Your diet is going to be extremely important. If you're in a big ass deficit trying to lose weight, doing this stuff twice a day, 3 times a day, whatever you're doing is going to be really hard. If you're a hybrid, which most of you are watching this, lifting and running in the same day is not the end of the world. It's totally fine. It's not going to kill your gains. The key thing is just eating enough. If you want to get stronger, you need to eat more. If you want to gain muscle, you need to eat more. If you're trying to lose weight, you need to be even smarter about it, because you need to time your carbs around your training sessions. And then you also need to ensure you get adequate protein so you're not just wasting away to nothing. However, right now, this session in the morning, the run in the Arvo, I'll eat a couple times in between, get plenty of protein and carbs in, and then I'll go for that easy run, and it won't be too hard. All right, so first set coming up, 180. When programming, when you're trying to get stronger while doing this kind of training where you're trying to do heavy compound lifts and run at the same time, you need to prioritize what you're trying to get better at. You probably will be better off having some form of structure to your training week. So for me, I'm doing the deadlifts now in the morning because I'm not going to be able to do them very well after I've run, and then I'll run this afternoon. When it comes to particularly doing lower body based movements like deadlift and squats, if you're trying to get better at those, you need to be really smart about how you structure your training week to ensure you're able to push these when you need to, and then you're able to push your runs when you need to, because they're both using your lower body. In this instance, my run yesterday was hard, but it was quite low volume for me. It was only about 8 Ks, and 6 of those Ks was fast, the other 2 Ks was slow. My legs feel pretty good today, I feel fine. So I'm able to do this morning, and then I'll run again later. When it comes to lower body stuff, depending on how you recover, I probably can't get away with doing this more than twice a week, deadlifts. I just don't think I'll be able to recover enough, nor do I think I'll get any more benefit out of doing it more. Ideally, you want to do just enough that you can recover from and be able to do more each week. Right now, I think I found the sweet spot. In total, I'm doing 6 working sets of deadlifts each week. And as that actually gets heavier, the most I've ever deadlifted is 300. I am nowhere near that now. But as the weights get heavier, if I get closer to that 250, 260, whatever mark when I'm lifting kind of heavier, I don't think I'll be able to deadlift 6 sets a week. At the time I deadlifted 300, I did 3 hard sets of deadlifts in a week. That was enough for me at the time. Now I'm a lot weaker and I haven't done a lot of heavy work. My technique is actually not as good as it used to be. I feel it's not anyway. So deadlifting twice a week, 1, gives me more practice. 2, allows me to disperse the volume, obviously, throughout the week. I don't want to do 6 sets of deadlifts in one go. It's not going to be great. And I'll build them up slowly. So this session in particular, I'm doing ascending sets. This will be my first one, 180 for 5. Then I'll probably go 200, and then maybe 210 or 220. And then my next session is pause deadlifts, where I'll probably follow something similar. For now, it works, so we're going to keep going until it doesn't. But yeah, when you're doing lower body movements, having some structure to the training week is going to benefit you a little bit, just so you can ensure that you could push those sessions when you need to, particularly in the beginning stages while you adapt anyway. As you get fitter, you will find that you might be able to fucking YOLO it all the time. You could do a hard run and then deadlift, no worries at all. Some people can do that, but for where I'm at right now, I can't, and I think where most of you guys will be, probably not the best way to go about it. So lifting in the morning for me right now works well, allows me to push this, and then I'll run this Arvo, and I'll do a cruisy one. Deadlift's done, time for bench. Some general rules of thumb around programming for deadlifts and bench press. Deadlifts, generally less frequency. You can get away with also a little bit less intensity on deadlifts, I've found anyway. When I deadlifted 300, I think the heaviest I went was like RPE 8. So then I deadlifted 300 the next week. So you can get away with a little bit less intensity. Deadlifts obviously a lot more fatiguing, which is why. Bench press, on the other hand, you can get away with a lot more volume, a lot more frequency, and you can keep the intensity pretty high just because the musculature that you're using is a little bit smaller overall, and the position of these muscles on the body are further away from the spine or the spinal cord, i.e. the nervous system. With bench press, one of the things I found, I was struggling to get it up over the past month or so, and I realized you can just do more volume. And so if your bench press is ever stuck, try a little bit more volume than what you're currently doing, and I have a feeling you may make some progress. So bench press volume is definitely something you can have a little bit higher. Intensity also a little bit higher comparatively to deadlifts, just due to fatigue. Another thing I'll say about getting stronger in the bench press, if you're struggling, eat more, gain more weight. Bench press, out of all the lifts, I reckon, including any pressing movements actually, responds the best to being heavier and weight gain. Some people are naturally better built for these kind of lifts due to their leverages, either great thoracic mobility, potentially shorter arms, stuff like that. But if you're just a normal person, you're not a biomechanical anomaly in any way, eating more is going to be probably one of the easiest ways to get stronger for almost all lifts, but definitely the bench press. Now, in the context of trying to get stronger while running and training hybrid, I believe that some people may be better off having seasons where they focus on one goal and then a season where they focus on another. So if you're struggling to get stronger, maybe you need to dedicate more time, say a 3-month period, maybe longer, to just getting stronger. You can still run, but you may need to understand that your running just needs to be on maintenance during that time while you just focus on getting stronger and pushing things in the gym and potentially gaining weight. Then when you have a race coming up or the time calls for it, you can pivot back to focusing on either more of a 50-50 routine or something that is a little bit more running focused if you need to get faster again. However, spending time focusing on getting stronger for a lot of hybrids and putting their running on maintenance is not a bad idea. The reason why is that sometimes working towards 2 goals at the same time means you're working towards nothing. You really need to, in some cases, dedicate a little bit more time towards focusing on that one goal, smashing that out as best you can, and then you can swap back when you need to. One of the things I've realized since running and lifting, doing this whole hybrid training thing, is that you're generally capable of a lot more than you realize. Most people don't train hard enough, or most people put this barrier over themselves because they have this idea that they can't do any more work than what they're currently doing. When in reality, if they just try to do a little bit more, their body will adapt and they'll be able to continuously improve, but also do more work and push themselves more than they thought they could. You're going to be sore at times, particularly in the beginning. It's not going to be smooth sailing, and you just need to embrace the fact that you're going to feel like shit. But you still need to turn up. You're not going to feel great one day and then just skip the gym the next day if you've got a planned gym session. You're just going to go in the gym and do what you can anyway, because eventually that gym session won't feel like shit anymore. It's going to feel great, even though it used to feel fucked because you trained the day before. So the point I'm trying to make here is, I think if you are able to embrace the fact that it's going to feel like shit a little bit, if you can push through a little bit, you're generally going to break through barriers that you probably think you had in terms of your own ability to recover and work capacity. And you will find over time, your body obviously will adapt and improve itself the more work you throw at it. With a slow, gradual progression, and by applying yourself, embracing the fact that it's not going to feel great all the time, you can probably hit almost any goal. Just a matter of whether or not you're patient enough. All right, it is run time. It's been a few hours. I've eaten a couple times. So now I'll be going for a very slow and easy 9K run. If I'm training on the same day as I'm lifting, I'm not doing a lifting session followed by a hard run. It's always going to be something easy. Like I mentioned, I generally follow a high-low model, and that's been working well so far. So tomorrow's run will be hard, but this run now, slow, pace not really a factor. Maybe I'll keep around the 6-minute mark, just basically going for a light jog. So if you guys have been enjoying this kind of content, or if you enjoyed this kind of content and want to see more of it, comment, subscribe. Hope you got something out of this, my general chit chat about training and the ideas I have, methods I've been applying, both to myself and my athletes. As always, if you need a coach, online coaching available for anyone, anywhere in the world. www.coachmichaelsekos.com, or hit the link in the description and head over to my website. All you got to do is send me an inquiry and I'll do the rest. Nonetheless, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube shit. More content coming like this every week. I'll see you guys later.